NADA 20 Group in Dealership Consulting.
Flip to the next page. This is the page.
Mark Rogers is one of many NADA consultants who will put your store under the magnifying glass, analyzing dozens of critical metrics. The result?
We would not be in business if it wasn't for him, I can tell you that. And we have thrived and done really well, and it was the best money we ever spent getting an NADA consultant.
You bring in Mark for the in-dealership consulting. How's that work out for you?
It's fantastic because basically the managers like it. It's hands-on. You're dealing with their people and their situation and their financials. So it's very helpful.
There's nothing as effective to me as somebody coming into your store, looking at your stuff. They build a relationship with your people.
Mark understands our business. He knows what our weaknesses are. He knows what strengths are needed. And
he watches every month. He has logins to everything that we have. He watches everything that happens. He'll call me and say, "You're not watching this. Do you see where you're working process? Did you notice that on the statement? Are you watching?" I mean, it's like he'll call me up and drill me. "What's your hours per hour today? Do you know that?" Whenever I'm falling down in an area, he's right there.
With the changes that he would recommend to them, he gives them a way to go about it to communicate with their people so that it makes sense to everybody and get everybody on the same page.
Peter Blackstock, an NADA board member, has been a dealer for more than 40 years. Frankie Franks took over the family business when her father, Frank Tillman, died suddenly while attending an NADA convention.
You know, when he was here Friday afternoon before he left for Las Vegas for NADA, he was right over there changing a license plate on a car for a customer himself, tie on and everything. He was yelling out orders here and there and saying, "I gotta go, I gotta get to the airport, I gotta go." And he was, I mean, it wasn't like he was in retirement mode and leaving us and we saw him once every 2 weeks. I mean, he was in charge, did everything. And so, yeah, it was scary. Anybody that runs into this issue, NADA can save you.
Frankie and her brother Joey worked in the dealership, but when their father died, they weren't prepared to run it.
I called NADA about crying, and I was like, "Lady, I don't know what to do." I mean, here's my situation, and she said, "You need a consultant in your store." She said, "Just hold on, I'll have somebody call you back." And Mark's the one that called me back, Mark Rogers.
And being an ex-dealer myself, and having a son working in the dealership, I understood exactly what they were saying, which is we sort of understand, but we have no clue.
By the end of Roger's first visit, they had a clue and a lot more.
He was in our store for 4 days the first time, and when he left, I had a list of everything I needed to watch every day so that my store was going to be okay.
Having those things to look at every day, and it was very critical for both of them every morning to come in and say, "Okay, do I have any open ROs over 30 days? Do I have any contracts and transits over 5 days? And I need that cash. Do I have these things in place?"
The first problem to fix, excess used vehicle inventory.
Mark came in and he, was like, "These have got to go. They got to go now." I mean, it's just faults. It looks like you're doing well. You're not doing well. You got all these cars sitting here. And I mean, it was just things like that he did that really helped us to survive.
What we did is we sat down and realized, all right, we need to turn this inventory faster. We need to have a better control of the inventory. So one of the first things we did is we started focusing on used cars. We put together different packages, pay plans to move this inventory faster and get it out of the way.
New vehicle inventory was another problem.
Then we looked at the new car inventory in the same manner. We got to keep it at a month-and-a-half supply. We were running like 3 and 4 because they couldn't tell anybody no. After a while, it got to a point that the factory would call and say, "You need cars," and they would say, "No, my NADA rep says I can't take any." But if you call them and get them to say, "Okay, I'll go ahead."
We don't make a decision without Mark, whether it's the bank, whether it's floor plan, whether it's, we don't, because we respect him and he takes care of us, and he doesn't tell us what we want to hear, he tells us what we need to hear, and that's a big plus.
Another plus, Joey has graduated from NADA's Dealer Candidate Academy. Frankie has been attending classes for the past year and graduates in March 2013.
I've not seen 2 dealers work as hard as these 2. They really wanted to be successful.
Between their work and Mark's advice, profits soared.
Within a matter of 2 years, we not only quadrupled it, they were able to take it to a level that is higher than their 20 group. They went to the top of the page. Everything was just amazing.
He was the perfect consultant for us.
She was able to get to 5% net to sales. She was able to make just amazing money.
It's worked really well for us.
Whether your store needs a tweaking or a turnaround, there's no better ROI than 20 Group in Dealership Consulting.
It was the best money we ever spent getting an NADA consultant.
20 Group in Dealership Consulting. To learn more, go to www.nada20group.org. or call 800 557 6232.